in a family.
They told me to, these are new. They told me to press it and it'll turn red.
We can hear you.
I'm pressing it, nothing. Yeah, okay, right? Well, we got a Q&A to do. Ladies and gentlemen, the filmmakers of Manborg, let's come on up here.
Is that it? There we go. I was pushing the wrong button. How are you, everybody?
Good.
That was great. Everyone enjoyed themselves? That Biocop shit is unbelievable, by the way. Now, anyway. Okay. We got a lot to cover. I just want to ask, we talked about this over dinner just now, and I want to know. I'm amazed by this number. Tell everybody how much Manborg cost to make.
Well, it's kind of a guesstimate, because I tallied up receipts at the end of it, and it was close to $1,000.
Close to $1,000. It's fucking unbelievable, seriously.
Yeah, it really was made for no money.
Like, think about, I don't know, when I think of the last $1,000 I spent, I didn't make a movie. So that's amazing. So
Biocop cost more than Manborg.
Biocop did? That's right. Okay,
yeah,
so
unfortunately it cost more.
And you guys
that was mostly because Biocop barfed all over this floor. And then we were told that we weren't allowed to have Biocop barf on the floor.
Yeah, it was this whole big debacle where I made a bit of a mess in a parking lot, and you know, low budget filmmakers have this logic that if you make a mess and you leave, rain will just take it away. And so, you know, we're filming, I'm rushing, I'm stressing, I'm like, oh, well, you puked, whatever. You know, forecast calls for rain, we're fine. Come back the next day, it's still there, and the landlord of the building left us a note saying, like, you have to pay to get this cleaned up, like, you can't do this, you upset people's livelihood. Like, she really went overboard, like, she lost it over this green puke in the parking lot. So, I cleaned it up. A nice man in the unit across from us lent me a power washer. I cleaned it up. That apparently wasn't good enough, so they hired a graffiti cleaner to clean up the puke again, which actually made the parking lot more dirty than it was when I cleaned it. And in the end, I had to pay $500 for this graffiti cleaner to clean up this puke.
half the budget.
Which amounts to like a half-second shot in the movie of puke hitting the ground. So yeah. Clean up your messes, people.
But that's what I don't understand, how that didn't come up more in, like, how did you guys do this for that little, like, seriously?
Well, I mean, all the equipment I borrowed from my old high school, because my old high school film teacher, he's pretty laid back, kind of a stoner. So like, hey, can I borrow this light kit? And he'd be like, So I would just take stuff, and, you know, people were very generous. I filmed in the basement of my girlfriend's dad's store that sells blinds. So there's just this, like, yeah, super blinds on the camera. That guy knows what I'm talking about. Yeah. So filmed there, filmed in my parents' garage. My dad would bring junk home from work. He worked at Manitoba Hydro, so he'd bring like circuit boards and stuff. So I built the sets and shit out of that.
And the green screen, right? There was a
green screen was fabric that my mom bought from Fabricland, and she sewed it.
I
like confident.
How
I couldn't
much
even
heart
sew it
do you
myself.
I think that's what I just love so much about the movie. Like, when I first heard about it, I was like, oh, that's cool. It's like a grindhouse type of thing, but more 80s. But then when you watch it, it's like this movie has so much heart to it. Like, how much was put into it, the message in the end, all of it was like so genuine. It's not like you see a lot of these movies that sort of are kind of making fun of those movies. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I get very protective about that stuff, where it's like, come on, you're making a ninja movie, be careful.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
You know what I mean?
Like, I take it probably way
You
too
take
seriously.
it very seriously, and that's awesome. That's great.
And that's something that's extended back to my childhood. Like, when I would play with action figures, like, it was like, this was a serious thing. Like, everything was very episodic, and like, narratives carried through, and like, you know, so that just carried into my filmmaking technique of like, you know, you can laugh and have fun, but it's not a joke. You're making a serious, like, this is a cyborg, this is like epic,
yeah,
make it a big deal. So that's important, because yeah, if you treat it like a joke, then you're not going to take the work seriously.
Right,
and it's going to show up on screen.
Well, it shows so well, and thank you guys so much again for putting this out. And that's what I want to ask you guys about, how you guys got involved once it got made. Like you said, you were the first one who saw it here, but like, how did you see this? Like, how did that even happen? Why did you guys make? That's another question. Did you guys make this for no particular? Like, did you want to premiere? Did you want to release it, or did you
What happened was we were watching Eliminators and just laughing and joking because we were getting kind of bored. And Jeremy, out of the blue, was like, "You should make a movie called Manborg." And I was like, "Okay."
It took 3 years. You spent 3 years on it.
Well, because it got to that point where people were telling me, like, you should just make like a 5-minute trailer or whatever, like just basically telling me to give up. And I was like, no, that's stupid. I'm gonna carry this through to the end.
Yeah, that was well deserved.
Jeremy played the Baron.
Yes.
It's great. So yeah, how did you guys discover this, and why were you the first person to see it? How does that make any sense?
Well, I worked for the Toronto After Dark Film Festival, and Steve sent in a short film called Fantasy Beyond the first year I worked there, and I was programming, and it actually ended up winning Best Short at the festival, and it's an animated short that's actually going to be on the DVD. And every year he would send in more stuff, and then he started sending in stuff as part of this collective, Astron 6. And when he moved to Toronto, he said, "Oh, I've been working on this movie called Manborg," and I was like, "Oh, wait, you're making a full feature?" I'm so excited. And anytime he had footage or anything to show me, he showed me bits and pieces. And then finally I saw the rough cut, and I gotta say, I wish the rough cut has the best 10th track I've ever heard on a movie. It's like Conan, Escape from New York, and there was the Equilibrium soundtrack. Like, it was just like all my favorite.
A lot of the 80s Transformers cartoon movie, like a lot of the music from that is in there.
The montage scene was originally scored to Nothing's Gonna Stand in Our Way for the Kick-Ass. And I know Steve actually tried contacting the band to get the song, but he didn't try.
Long story short, they didn't get back to me.
But then I saw the film, and I saw the rough cut, loved it. I wanted to play Toronto After Dark. And I ended up actually writing the opening crawl for the film, and then doing introducing Steve to a mutual friend of mine who helped hook him up with Kyle Herbert, who does the voice of Number One Man. He's also the narrator in Dragon Ball Z. And he just did it. Like, you can talk a bit about that, but
that was a crazy experience because usually I'm dealing with non-professionals and such to try and pull these movies together. So reaching out to this guy, I was like, oh my god, he's going to want thousands of dollars. He's going to be a total flake. And so I was like, hey, like, I'm making this low-budget movie, want to help me out? And like in the space of a day, like the whole thing was done. I contacted him in the morning of like Friday, and I was like, hey, want to do this voice? He's like, okay, send me clips. I sent him clips. He quoted me a figure that was extremely low, so I was like, okay. I paid him, he recorded all the audio, and by that evening I like had it dropped in and it was done. It was like the fastest I've ever like solved a problem in a movie. The parking lot situation took longer than that, so yeah.
And I mean, I saw the film and wanted to be involved, and I showed it to Colin, and then Colin can finish the story from there, because we ended up coming on board as producers. But
I work for the Toronto International Film Festival's program with the Madness Selection, and we have some alumni here in the audience who've had films there. And I saw the film. This was after TIFF, and unfortunately with TIFF there's kind of a certain caliber that the audience expects. I'm like, this doesn't quite fit for TIFF. Well, yeah, you wanted it for your festival, so I was like, okay, you can have it for your festival. But I saw the film like, okay, I know enough sales agents on the international markets who go to Cannes and Berlin, and I've seen the crap that they sell. Okay, I'm like, this film actually has heart, is good, is smart. When I first saw it, it was only 65 minutes. I was like, well, if we can make it a little longer, I'm sure that I know a sales agent who could sell it for maybe a couple of grand, which is nothing to a bunch of different territories. Because I just wanted to get the film, let's try and get the film out there so that people can see what Steve can do to try and get him to the next level to make another film. We've got a really great sales agent based out of Toronto who only really do genre films called Raven Banner. And they took it, worked with Steve, made it a little bit longer. On the DVD, the Interpol piracy warning is very long. So that's stretched it out. Made BioCop, so rounded out to around 72 minutes. And the sales agent sold to Germany, France, Australia, and the UK right away. And not for big bucks. Like, I think the UK probably
Big
around-
bucks when your budget's $1,000.
Yeah. But I mean, we got the film's been released already on DVD in the UK. It's gangbusters in the UK. Someone got a Manborg chest tattoo.
It's not some little. I thought you were going to show me some.
It's not even the logo.
Yeah.
It's actually like in cursive script.
His entire chest. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So that helped start to getting kind of attention, and we were able to kind of really kind of kick into like social media. We've got a great guy who kind of makes sure that he's like the voice of Manborg. And then MPI Media came on board and picked up the US, and they've been great. And we had like really low expectations. I told them that. I'm like, look, if it can be out on VOD in the States for like a week, that'd be awesome. Because it's a type of film, like when you hear the word Manborg, you're going to go to a computer and Google that shit. And if you can see it on VOD right away, you are going to do that. And it's coming out on DVD and VOD April 30th, thanks to MPI Media.
Lots of special features on there too.
Yeah.
Also, some of the most, I think, uneducational interviews you'll ever experience. Doesn't really tell you much about making the movie, but hopefully it makes you laugh.
Well, I think we should kind of talk about what Steve does now, because you came from you were at Winnipeg when you made this with Asteron 6 Film Collective, who also did Father's Day. Check out their website. You can also see the short that Steve did, Laser Ghosts 2: Return to Laser Cove. So they cut their teeth doing like really fun fake trailers, and then now you guys live in Toronto and you're actually working on films in like practical effects. And Jeremy worked on RoboCop in graphic design and also worked on Pacific Rim, and Steve worked kind of at the end of the assembly line.
Worked on gems like Wrong Turn 4.
And you can also probably see some of his work in maybe the background of Hannibal. You worked on Hannibal as
I
well.
worked on Hannibal a bit. Nothing specific that I can tell you. I can't spoil the show. But,
Well, I mean, is that the goal for you guys? Would you guys make movies like Manborg forever, or do you want to like?
well, I'd like to make them for enough money that I can support myself.
Yeah.
That would be nice. But yeah,
We need like $2,000.
Yeah, that's not much. $2,000.
it's asking a lot, I know, but we gotta aim high.
I know we still got a lot of shows, so I thought of an interesting way to get the Q&A going. We've got some free Manborg t-shirts, ladies and gentlemen. Anyone who asks a question gets a t-shirt. And we got posters and stuff. We can distribute. You guys had a lot of posters, right? There should be enough. Yeah. But if anyone's got any, let's start right there. You're staying in the deal.
You mentioned that the Eliminators was a main influence in the movie. I was wondering if there were any other major influences for Manborg?
Yes. Lots. Mortal Kombat's a big one.
Specifically Annihilation.
Yeah, specifically Mortal Kombat Annihilation, which I love. And I've watched probably more than anyone else on the planet. Captain Power is a good one. Peter can sympathize with me on that.
Soldier of the Future.
Yep. Power on. Well, I don't know, any like Charles Band, like Empire type movies, Arena is a good one.
Which Shout Factory? We just talked about that. Shout Factory
Yeah,
is putting out.
4-movie.
Arena and Eliminators on the same disc.
Yeah, it's like my dream come true.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's awesome.
And I'm sure 1,000 other movies probably.
Star
Well,
Wars.
it's like a lot of
Stuff.
video game
Yeah,
stuff. too.
Terminator.
Oh yeah, Terminator. Every movie I make has a bit of Terminator.
You told me that Justice's Australian accent was like inspired by Connor's like Australian Terminator accent. Tell me.
For some reason, when he was acting out RoboCop versus Terminator for me, he did Schwarzenegger in like an Australian accent, which made me laugh. So I was like, oh well, Justice should have that accent because that really entertains me. I don't know why he was acting out RoboCop versus Terminator though.
All right, how about you, Danny?
So if you were given a couple $1 million to make a movie, would you make it in the same style, be like a home video look, or would you?
I'd like to make a movie that looks like a real movie. I think that's an
Nothing wrong with that.
way to progress as a filmmaker. I certainly don't want to go backwards. That would be nice. I like to move forward, but I mean, I love making stuff. I like building sets and creatures and whatever. So like if I can't do that stuff, I probably would be pretty unhappy. But I'd love to shoot on a nice, good camera.
Yeah, not a mini DV.
Yeah. Do you have a nice camera you want to lend me? Lend it to me. Come on. I'll do something with it. We'll talk after.
Yeah.
What's your size?
So Father's Day is my hands-down favorite movie of last year.
Awesome.
And I was just wondering, are you in the Astron 6 group of directors going to make anything else? Because it's kind of like this. It's got so much heart, and it's so funny, but still keeping it ballsy.
Well, the thing is, in our like attempt to get money for stuff, everything, like the process is kind of slowed down. Like I know those guys have the editor that they're working on, which they're going to be shooting in Winnipeg.
Like a 70s giallo.
Yeah, that's kind of Adam and Matt's project they have going on. So I can't really say anything specific about it. Maybe Jeremy can say more. I don't know.
But they got funding for it, so like it looks like it's
Yeah, they got a little bit of money.
Nice.
2,000.
Okay.
Was it you that did the claymation for this movie as well?
Oh yeah. Oh, obviously.
You know, all the sets during this movie are like, what's the scale of the set? They're all like, they're not CGI background sets. They're all like handmade.
Everything's like small. Like I had to fit in a tiny little workshop in my basement.
The prison scene. Tell them how you shot the prison scene.
A lot of the sets are actually half sets, and I would just flip them in post. Like the prison is just I built half of it and then mirrored the shot for all of it.
I can tell you, being in this movie was so confusing.
Yeah, they just keep saying, we'll do it in post. We'll do it in post.
You're
Don't
in
worry
a
about it.
prison. Oh, okay.
Well, in the prison, because I had one practical backdrop in the prison, you can tell with the
Mirrored it
shitty
and
foil
then-
tape on the back thing. But, like, so we had this one cell that we built, but we had to use it for all the characters. So we had to figure out the geography of, like, who was looking where. Like, okay, Manborg's here, Justice is right there, Nina is there, and Number One Man is there, and Dr. Scorpius coming from there, going that way down the hallway. So we had like a map, and I had to keep track of it. So we'd cycle through the actors in this one set, and trying to keep track of where people were looking when they were talking. Because of course it's this like convoluted conversation where it's like, Manborg's talking to Mina, he's talking to Number One Man, and it's all over the place. So
But we also
it
shot
was a
everything
nightmare.
like in 360 degrees, like I would face this way and then turn,
Yeah.
do the scene again and then turn.
so much footage of people like just with their back to the camera, like looking at the green screen talking.
I do have to ask, does it look the way you guys intended? Like, I mean, for what you know what I'm saying? Well, I mean, when you had like such a small budget, are you happy with the way it turned out, and did it look the way in your head? Because it looks so epic. That's
Well,
what
I
I'm
tell
saying.
everybody I kind of wanted it to look like a CD-ROM game.
Yeah.
That was something, when I started like putting it together, I was like, there's no way this is going to look like a real movie. I need a good excuse. And so that was what I came up with, and I'm sticking to it.
Wing Commander 3 is definitely, I think, an influence.
Yeah, Wing Commander 3, and I always reference Rebel Assault 2 as well.
And you in the back there.
Right there. You.
Yeah.
So are you going to, with the other projects you're looking at, are you going to do them under the same umbrella as the film, or are you thinking about trying to start at a different, put out a different film, like
Yeah.
different genre?
I don't know.
Yeah, no thinking goes into any of this.
No, we just come up with crazy ideas, like Biocop was like, what the hell was that? That was an idea I came up with while I was making a mold in the shop at like 1 in the morning on a Friday night. And I was like, oh, what if there was a cop that was like melting all the time? And then now you're watching it. Like that's kind of how it works. I come up with an idea, I black out for 6 months, and I wake up and suddenly it's playing.
I got an email from Steve saying, we're making a movie about a melting cop. I was like, yeah.
You just have to accept it.
All right, we'll do a couple more. How about you, right there?
Yeah, I saw you used on Manborg's costume and Darth Vader's tie cutter. Do you use any other stuff like that?
On his eyepiece, there are the like side bits on a Star Destroyer. Like it's like the 2 triangle has, and then there's like that ridge around it. That kind of lines the whole eyepiece. There's bits of the Millennium Falcon on his chin, his chin piece.
Potted chin.
Yeah, think there's a few Enterprise bits on his chest. I had like a big box of like discarded model kit parts, because when I was a kid I'd build models and then I wouldn't paint them, and I'd usually just like smash them or like film them being smashed and then put the pieces in a box. So it's just like this big mishmash of stuff. So when I was building these costumes, I was like, okay, this is what I have to work with. Go. And I would just glue it all together. So yeah, there's all kinds of stuff on there.
What's your t-shirt size?
Medium. Medium?
We'll do one more question.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Yeah, just, I guess, what's next, and how do we give you money for it, hopefully?
You can give me money right now.
Yeah, giving us money is super easy.
Yeah, all you gotta do is just, I'll put my hand on it.
Just put out your hand.
Yeah, no middleman.
Yeah, like a 20 gets the producer credit, right?
I'll be here for the rest of the night.
Yeah, so, guys, give it up for the...
T-shirt size?
Large?
There we go. Give it up for the filmmakers, ladies and gentlemen. Manborg! We're all going to go out to the patio. Let's hang out. And then we're going to watch some Eliminators. All right. Good night.